everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition 07 Deluxe Class Sideswipe. Let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section down below. Is it a pickup or a pass? Let's now take a look at the figure's packaging. So here we have the packaging. Starting at the very front, we have Transformers going down the side of the box and the game controller button next to 07. There is 07 written on the box because this is the 7th figure, a part of the Gamer Edition subline. We do have Studio Series in black text and Gamer Edition and Sideswipe in white text next to a white Autobot symbol and a really cool image of Sideswipe in his robot mode next to an open window displaying the figure and the packaging. And at the top corner we do have a Transformers War for Cybertron logo with another one present at the top of the box as well. Now moving to the side of the packaging, we do have a close-up of Sideswipe in his robot mode, mostly focusing on his head and chest. We do have 07 at the top and Deluxe Class written in several different languages at the bottom, with Studio Series in black going down the side. Now moving to the back of the box, the figure transforms in 24 steps. There's a proc shot of him in his robot, his alt mode, and displayed with his included backdrop. There's also a brief description or bio written in several different languages, which I'll read for you right now. So it does say Sideswipe infiltrates the Chaos prison to rescue Zeta Prime. And as for the final side of the packaging, we do have Sideswipe in his robot mode and a really cool running action pose. And that is pretty much it for the packaging. So let's now get into the review. So here we have the included backdrop. This is the Save Zeta Prime backdrop. Quickly taking a look at the details. Starting on the far right panel, we have the game controller button at the top and Transformers and Gamer Edition going down the side. At the center, we do have a really cool artwork image of Cybertron with some bridges and falling over buildings and pillars. We do have a plaque where Sideswipe can be displayed in either his robot or alt mode, as well as the Transformers War for Cybertron logo there as well. And on the far left panel, we do have the game controller button and 07 and Studio Series going down the side. So here we have Sideswipe in his robot mode. Let's take a look at the details, starting at the very top with the head sculpt. We do have some dark gray for the helmet section with some sculpted in horns at the top, some bright silver for the face, some metallic blue for the eyes. Moving to the chest, we do have some glossy red for the edges of the chest with some silver and panel line detailing at the center, as well as a classic Autobot symbol done in orange. As for the shoulders, we do have these really cool Cybertron and futuristic wheels done in dark black and red, with some more red at the rest of the shoulder and form, with a little bit of silver and some dark gray for the hand and bicep. Moving to the lower portion of the figure, we do have some light gray at the top of the legs and some black for the crotch, and the lower portion of the legs are mostly done that same glossy black and red color with some silver pin-ups here and there. And I do like how there's a couple overlapping panels on the side looking very mechanical and robotic. But probably my least favorite aspect of this figure's design is the feet, because they're made of that cheap unfinished gray plastic, and if you do take a look at the figure from the side, they stick out way too far. But turning to the back of the figure, we do have this really cool spike section at the top, and the backpack, which some people have complained is a bit lazy because it's really the majority of the front of Sideswipe's alt mode, which I do agree with that statement, but it doesn't bother me that much because it's really well tabbed in and it's not that ugly. As for articulation, at the head it can look up and down, tilt side to side, look left and right. The arms can move out and in, forward and back. There is a bicep rotation, a double jointed elbow bend. To access the waist rotation, I would highly advise to move the arms out of the way, as well as this backpack piece to get the full range of motion. So this can rotate side to side. The legs can kick forward, back, out to the side and in. There is rotation at the top of the leg and at the top of the knee. There is a knee bend to a very good degree, and the foot can pivot forward and back. As far as tolerances go, most of the figure's joints are nice and tight and can hold a pose, except for the legs, which are a little too loose for my liking. And as for his accessory, he includes one machine gun, which is Blastoise piece compatible and can be placed in the figure's hand, but since this is a Gamer Edition figure, you can remove the form and attach it there as well, but if you do not want the weapon in use, you can store the machine gun and form on the figure's back. Starting our robot mode comparisons, here we have the Gamer Edition Sideswipe next to the leader of the Autobots Gamer Edition Optimus Prime. Next up, here we have Gamer Edition Sideswipe alongside the leader of the Decepticons, Gamer Edition Megatron. Now for transformation, make sure you remove his one accessory and put it off to the side. Then what you're going to want to do is rotate at the form using that bicep rotation. Then fold in hand. You can repeat the exact same step and process with the other arm. Just rotate at the bicep, fold in the hand. You're then going to grab the chest panel, hinge this all the way out and down. There is two separate hinge joints, so make sure you hinge out both sections. We're then going to turn to the back of the figure, grab this spike section, just slightly hinge it up to allow enough clearance to grab this front car piece, hinge this out and up as well. And the reason why we did all this is so we can then rotate at the waist. So now the back of the legs are facing towards us and vice versa. Let's now focus on the legs. So you're going to hinge the feet all the way down, open up these small little panels, and how they were tabbed into places. There is two slots and one tab per each panel. Speaking of panels, we're going to grab these outer panels on the leg that were tabbed into place using the slot and the tab on the leg itself, and there is a ball joint, so you're just going to rotate this entire panel down towards the foot. Same with the other leg, just grab these panels, hinge them all the way down. Now there's these smaller inner leg panels that you're going to rotate all the way up until they just soft click into place like you just heard. Do the same thing with the other side. Just hinge that up until you hear just a very faint soft click. We're then going to turn to the top of the figure again, and then you can grab both shoulders and split them or separate them away from the head. And there's these gray panels that you're going to hinge all the way out as much as you can. It can get a bit messy. As you can see, the figure is very long. There's lots of stuff sticking out, so I will try and show the steps as clean and as clear as possible. But you're going to untab the head. As you can see, there is a tab just below the head and a slot on this gray section, which will allow us to tuck in the head, and then you can just bring both pieces back together. Then what you're going to want to do is grab this chest panel section and then just hinge this up until this pin, as you can see right next to my thumb, is level with this chest panel, which will allow us to grab both arms and bring both halves together and tab them into place. Just make sure they're nice and straightened out, and then just compress both sections together. They'll tab at these gray pieces and they'll tab in the center. It's kind of hard to show because there's all those panels there, but it's going to tab into place in two places very securely. Now for this next step, I highly advise to have one hand hold this gray section, because if you don't, it could come untabbed, but you're going to tab the forearm into pretty much the waist or the hips. So just tab that into place like so. You can then go to the back wheels. There's these panels here. As you can see, there is a slot on both sides of the wheel, and there is a tab right there. You're just going to hinge that back. Do the same thing on the other wheel. Just hinge that back. We can now go back to our focus on the legs. This part can be a little bit messy. I do apologize about that, but you're going to hinge this entire section up until it just folds into place. We're going to do the same thing with the other leg. Just slowly hinge this into place like so, and just fold that up. It can be a bit tricky at times, but after a while, if you fiddle with the figure, it should line up into place like so, and there is a post on the inside of this panel and a corresponding ports that should just plug into place like so, and you're going to use those same two panels that I showed off before. Those will just fold into place just to solidify that connection. And then there is, using that same slot I showed off before on the inside of that panel, there is a tab right there, and that is just going to tab into place nice and securely. Same with the other side. Just tab that into place, and there is two slots here and here and tabs right there. So just hinge that down, and that will tab nice and securely into place. Rotate this spike section around, and this is going to tab and attach in several different places. So there is two tabs right here, slots where the chest used to be. There is two more tabs right here, and corresponding slots right there. So just align all of that up and into place. Just squeeze everything together, and that is it for transformation. So here we have Sideswipe in a Cybertronian sports car alt mode. Let's take a look at the details. Starting at the very front, we have some bright silver and gunmetal gray for the grille, as well as a classic Autobot symbol done in orange at the hood. There is some more silver and panel line detailing going down the back of the vehicle, and I do like the glossy red for the base color. Moving to the side, we do have some glossy black for the windows, and I do like the dark red and black for the wheel, creating this illuminated effect. Moving to the back, we do have some spikes sticking out, and you can see the robot mode chest panel, which does bother some, but personally doesn't bother me. As for accessory storage, there is a slot on the top of the vehicle, and there is a tab on the accessory itself, and that will just tab into place like so. Starting our alt mode comparisons, here we have the Gamer Edition Sideswipe alongside the Siege and Kingdom Sideswipe. Let me know in the comments of the three designs of this character you have before you, which one is your favorite. Next up, here we have the Gamer Edition Sideswipe next to the Gamer Edition Cliffjumper, and let me know in the comments what Autobot would you like to see next in this Studio Series subline. Last but not least, here we have the Gamer Edition Sideswipe alongside the Gamer Edition Decepticon Barricade. Now for my final thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition 07 Deluxe Class Sideswipe. Starting in the robot mode, I like the angular, futuristic design done in bright silver, dark red, and black paint apps. The figure's plastic quality is top notch, but I'm not a fan of the gaps in the back of the legs. Accessory-wise, the figure includes one Cybertronian machine gun with well-sculpted ammo clip, scope, and barrel that is blaster piece compatible, but it could use some paint. The robot mode legs are loose, but the rest of the figure's joints are nice and tight. Transformation is surprisingly complex, but still fun to convert back and forth. On to Sideswipe's alt mode, he transforms into a futuristic sports car painted in glossy red and black, as well as spikes scattered across the vehicle. What do you think of this figure? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you next time.